Hey Sagittarius, welcome to July 2022. I am so glad to be here and able to give you an view of your month, a little tarot scope for you guys. Yours is the last of the readings that I put up, and I tried to get this out the last couple of days and just had a ton of stuff come up. Personally, work wise. And today I got lost in the woods, and 8 miles and like 2 gallons of sweat later, when I walked out of the woods, I felt like a whole new person. And I'm wondering if any of that relates to you, Sagittarius. I'm wondering if that happened to kind of stretch out your reading for me to bring this on in some way to your reading to say, is there a way that you could benefit by getting lost in the woods, sweating 2 gallons of sweat out, running around, clearing your space, clearing your energy? Is there something about your life right now that feels stagnant or needs to move or needs to travel or get lost in a really good book or take a really good nap and be refreshed? Let's see what comes up in your reading. But that was so clear for me. I literally was so dedicated, and I'm pretty structured about doing these and timelines, and just for the life of me could not until after today. So passing that along to you. We're going to get an overall energy for you guys from the shamanic deck. It's called the Knowing. It's an oracle deck, the Weaver Tarot, and I'll do a little clarifying with the Biddy Tarot's Everyday Tarot deck, which I love, super recommend, especially if you're sort of like new to tarot or interested in like a first deck. This is really gorgeous. I should do a deck review. I'll save it for that. Otherwise, we'll get into a lot of minutes with this video. So welcome to July 2022. Let's get an overall energy for you guys, see where you're at. What's the temperature feeling like? Starting at sort of the high noon of the year here with these readings. Sagittarius. Ooh, you have 2 here, and I have not, oh my gosh, and they're both organs. So this deck has sort of a compilation. If you've been watching any of the other videos, you'll mostly have seen all animals and plants. So this is fascinating. Let's see what comes up for you guys. What are you looking into? What are you seeing? I'll read a little bit from the book because the book is really gorgeous with these cards, and I'm still learning them, and I want to give you all of the information, but I will leave these here. And then liver, of course, about detox. Gosh, liver is so much too about anger, right? It has that correlation, especially in Chinese medicine. And that was exactly the process that I had to address today. Over the last couple of days, really cleansing myself specifically of like a lot of frustrations and really looking at exactly what was happening and what was my part, and taking accountability and flushing through my system just a whole layer of old, right, that needed to go. And I bring up my own reference just in case it's like helpful for yours and in an interpretation of these. But let's see what the eye says here first. The eyes have been connected to spiritual awareness as perhaps the most important sensory organs. In Western culture, we rely heavily on our physical eyes and sense of sight, and this is an outcome perhaps of the roots of our society having been planted upon scientific theory and the act of systematically assessing the world around us. The spiritual teachings of our eyes, however, are not necessarily that we're not seeing the world right as physical reality, but perhaps that we are only seeing it from a limited perspective, and not necessarily the perspective of our awakened inner sight, sometimes called intuition. Like the gift and teachings of links, conditions of the eyes ask us to take a second look at what is being perceived, and if we might understand our visual or emotional experience from an entirely different perspective. Can I see the other side? Is my sight limited? Do you need to get out of your own box, Sagittarius? God, I just love synchronicities so much. It's just one of my greatest joys of all time of life. And I'm passing that joy along to you guys. Okay, liver. The liver is your largest internal organ and the most essential for detoxification. It's responsible for countless numbers of reaction, including energy production and storage, hormone regulation, digestion, and more. It's associated with the wood element and a sense of willfulness and confidence in our lives. When our liver is frustrated, we may be simply stressed, but this stress is often a particular kind, when we are taking things very personally. Oh my gosh. Liver ill health is associated with poor self-esteem, a lack of power or the worry for power, a sense of scarcity, and an inability to discern with accuracy what's truly happening in one's life. So let's see what comes up for you guys over the course of your reading. But July, the month of July, could be such an invitation for you, Sagittarius, to look at what's happening in your life. look at what's happening in your heart, look at what's happening. When I need to do this, it's usually like what's happening in my life that's confusing me, and then looking inside and realizing where the dissonance is. Where am I not speaking up for myself? Where did I make a choice that led me to this outcome that I didn't mean to do at all? And then the frustration that comes from that, and the detoxification process that comes with that, making that talk that you need to do, or having that talk that you need to do with your partner, or having that talk that you need to do with your boss, or setting some boundaries with a coworker that maybe talks all of the time in your office. That wasn't what I was dealing with the past couple of days, but I do have a couple of chatties in mine, and I love them dearly, but hey-oh, there might come a time when I need to have a chat with them. Otherwise, I'll get real frustrated. Anyway, I don't know why that came out. Maybe that's your situation too. Okay, let's get a Celtic cross out for you guys and see what the timbre is for the month of July. Sagittarius July. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. It was a gift. I feel really honored to have received it. Sagittarius July 2022. The Hanged One in reverse. Ruler of Wands. Judgment in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse. Ace of Coins. Ruler of Coins. Hello, making it happen, Sagittarius. The World in reverse. Three of Wands reversed. The Hierophant, and ending on the Eight of Swords. Okay, let's do this. Fascinating. Seeker of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Starting with the Hanged One. So the central theme, the central energy for this whole reading that you are in right now, and you'll continue to sort of digest through the month, is the Hanged One, the Hanged Man in reverse. So when we see the Hanged Man, it's a time of waiting. It's a time of being in sort of like limbo, or really consciously taking a step back to look at life from a different perspective. God, did I say how much I love synchronicities? Looking at things from a different perspective. When I see the Hangman in reverse, it's often about that process still in play, but now coming out of it. So now, where is it time for you to catch the wave of life again? Or are you stagnating in this? So it's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to take a time out. I need to reassess. I need to look at things from a couple different ways. And then it can kind of get comfortable from that vantage point, right? It can kind of get comfortable not to talk to the person you had an argument with, blah, 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 blah. Is it time for you to kind of step out of whatever's going on with that right now and into complete ownership of who you are? So this can go one of two ways, one of a billion ways, I'm sure, but one of a few ways I'll interpret this for you guys is crossing you as the Ruler of Wands. So is this who you're stepping into after this time and period away to collect yourself? Confident, freaking king of kings, like light of your own life. Are you holding space for yourself to be truly self-expressed in your passion, in your desires, and really holding space for other people to do the same? Magnanimous, generous, passionate. Life is lit with the Ruler of Wands. Rulers are kings in this deck. Crossing you, this could also mean like another character in your life who's either bringing this or holding you down with this. And I don't know why I'm getting that sense, but when it's right on top of this, of course, I always want to make the most positive interpretation, but the most positive reading can sometimes give you the forecast of this being a nuisance. Like, is there someone who is keeping you in a state of stagnation, right? Or some instance. We're always responsible for our own lives, but let's see if we can get a clarifier for the Hanged Man in reverse, the Hanged One in reverse here. July 2022 for Sagittarius. What could Sagittarius benefit from knowing more about the Hanged One in reverse here? What's your central theme for the month? Ooh, and that's kind of like a stack of them, so I'm gonna actually like repull. But things changing, that was the Wheel of Fortune. So, oh my gosh, wow. There's just a lot going on there. I feel like maybe there's a lot of different ways that could play out, or let me pick these up. A lot of different things that Spirit wants to say about this. But if we can just get one clarifier for the Hanged Man in reverse. Hangman in reverse for Sagittarius. And isn't this kind of reflective of things feeling kind of stuck potentially? Not moving as you, oh my gosh, again, it's like this collection of cards. Okay, we're going to take 3 because there's just more to say to this story than I can hold back. Okay, so clearly about a partnership. We have the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, and the 9 of Wands in reverse. Some kind of connection here, some kind of soulmate connection, and kind of giving up. There's some kind of struggle that's going on here, and it's not going very well. So whether that's a struggle in the relationship, maybe you guys have like hit a chord on something and you can't figure out how to figure it out. It's kind of like a stalemate. When the 9 of Wands is upright, we're really talking about defending what we have. Blood, sweat, and tears has gotten you to what you've got, but you feel confident, even if you feel tired, about defending your lot here and standing up for it and like making sure that you get to that culmination of the 10. It's a real like don't give up now card because you're so close. So when it's in reverse, it's this feeling of like, oh, I'm bloody and I'm sweaty and I'm teary-eyed and I'm having a real hard time motivating to find the energy to like move forward. So some kind of connection has happened here. I mean, right off the bat, it's so easy to say that this could be a relationship, but don't let that pigeonhole the reading for you. If you're not in a relationship or not thinking about that, maybe this is like very clearly related to you for work. I was looking at a new job opportunity once and kept pulling the 2 of Cups, and I'm like, am I going to fall in love with my boss? But no, after a year or 2 working with him, it was so, he was like my dad. It was like so clear. It was just the perfect partnership. We were perfectly paired for that exact business partnership at that time. So relationship, work relationship, whatever it is, something perfect, some perfect connection has happened here. And it's felt like you've known this person or this connection for a really long time instantly. 6 of Cups talks about soulmates, nostalgia, situations or relationships that we're feeling like really good about. But there's something that you guys have hit a wall here, or you in the relationship have hit a wall, or the relationship has hit a wall, where you're taking a little bit of time to look at it from a different perspective, and you're having a hard time motivating to get up and get going. So, Ruler of Wands, is there a clarifier that could help us with the Ruler of Wands? Is this like helpful energy here? I'm just seeing it go both ways. So maybe there's just sort of 2 camps. Maybe this is really you feeling energized and empowered as the month goes on, or using that sense of empowerment as the month goes on to motivate. Or maybe this is really someone else. The sun. Oh, the moon. Okay. So you don't know yet. You actually don't know. And maybe we're not supposed to know. But this month, the crossing energy for you guys is going to be working in some way, whether it's internally with yourself or externally with your partner or whoever else this person is or whatever else this relationship or union is, that you're not supposed to know, right? So the moon talks about shadows, and it's just not a time that we're going to be able to see things clearly. It's a time of facing our fears and just relaxing into that being the case. It's not supposed to be a moment where you're knowing everything. It's like being in the belly of the whale, like you're digesting. I don't know why that came to mind for the moment, but it's like you are synthesizing. You're supposed to be in the dark. It's completely new terrain. Which is interesting because it's sort of like the opposite energy of the Ruler of Wands, which is bright, which is magnetic, which is like a total go-getter, which is energy, which is the fire starter, which is the life of the party, which is, all of these things. So this is saying like you're either really working at trying to find that this month, or you are having a tough time relating to whoever this is in your life this month. Either way, this dynamic is going on. So all I can say is my favorite part of tarot scopes is that it can kind of give us like a lay of the land. And if you don't like what you see or you don't like what's happening, you have the power to change it. This is like a snapshot of moment in time. So you decide to do a different thing or make a different choice or commit to a different action or outcome, and this changes. So I hope that's helpful. Let's keep going and see what else is going around you. So foundation, what is the foundation? Wanting the 10 of Cups, but it's not quite here, or you've lost it, or you've lost your sense. You've lost your cups. Look at those hands. Upright, they're receiving those full cups, but when it's in reverse, it's like, I had them, but now they're gone. It's slipping through my fingers. I've lost my happiness, or I've lost my sense of happiness. So I'm getting just like some kind of a sense of loss here. It still feels like the cups are full. Like I'm still looking at full cups, even though I know they're in reverse. But maybe you feel like something has slipped through your hands, or you're giving something away here. And this is the foundation, like a loss of love, a loss of emotion, or the tens really talk about the fullness of whatever suit we're talking about too. There's something very full here that you are building on that doesn't feel really good. There's just some stuck here this month. Let's see if we can figure this out for you. 10 of Cups in reverse. What does Sagittarius need to know about the 10 of Cups in reverse here in the foundation position? 10 of Cups in reverse. What does Sagittarius need to know here? Oh, okay. So maybe something or someone did something that was unexpected, kind of sneaky. This could also be self-sabotage. When we see the 7 of Swords, it's like something sneaky is going on, something under the surface is happening, someone is stealing something, right, in this card. And it's usually all of the swords. It's like sneaking away with what you thought you had, but now you don't. So is that you? Oftentimes when I see the 7 of Swords, it's my own self-sabotage, but this could be someone in your environment, or it could just be something that you felt like was unfair that happened, even if it wasn't malicious. I just tend to not like to interpret cards like someone's fucking you over, but maybe someone is fucking you over, but I would never outright say, unless I had a very clear message, that was happening in the cards. The 7 of Swords is just an inkling of something doesn't feel right to me. Is it a frustration? What's amiss? And how can I get it back into alignment? Which is interesting because Knight of Pentacles is such a dedicated knight, dedicated character towards slowly and steadily moving towards your goal. And when he's in reverse, again, he's deeply stagnated. He can't move at all, or he's moving erratically. Like, I've been in this job for 20 years, but now I'm jumping ship because I hate it. And when it's in reverse, it can just really speak to living from the ends of that spectrum. So something happened here, it spilled in the foundation, and we're building off of that this month. So the foundation position is like, what's in the subconscious? What's going on here? There's like loss. There's a feeling of having had something and having it lost, potentially from a frustration or someone who didn't say something very nice or fucked you over. And not knowing how to quite stabilize on it. So what I love about seeing negative situations here in the foundation is that it's an indication that, like, whenever we can see something here that doesn't feel right to us or that feels negative, you can always just choose a different belief. So if this is really speaking to our subconscious, it can be an indicator that that needs tending to. If you don't like what you're building off of here, then you can tend to your subconscious to create another foundation, one that's more stable, one that is healed, one that isn't reacting, one that is conscious of this wound and can create rather than react from it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to leave that just so this doesn't get too long, but that's in the foundation here. And then what are you working towards? Again, look at these hands, just everything kind of slipping through them, so that when the judgment is upright, we're talking about new chances, we're talking about new inspiration. Oh my gosh, and I'm just glanced over here again. How much does this so relate to the overall energy of your month and really seeing things for what they are, seeing yourself for who you are, and getting rid of, detoxifying, flushing out of the body anything that doesn't match that. Okay, so really consciously focused on feeling like you're not in your power. Damn, Sagittarius, I'm giving it to you straight. Feeling like this feels to me like you want this to work, or you're really hoping you're going to get a second chance, but there's not going to be a second chance here, and at least in July, or you don't think that there's going to be. Let's go ahead and give this a clarifier. What could really help Sagittarius understand here about judgment in reverse? Oh, okay. I just had another thought too, that this could really be coming out of your own self-judgment. That really clicked in. So I feel like that's a way more, let me get a clarifier for this. Judgment in reverse for Sagittarius. July 2022. now. I love this deck to clarify because it's usually so fast, so concise, so accurate, just so like clear. And there's just this like stuck feeling I'm getting, Sagittarius. It's just a little bit like we're in molasses. And don't get me wrong, molasses is a fab sweetener. There's a lot I can appreciate about molasses. But when you are trying to like go down a water slide, it can feel real slow and frustrating. That pace can feel frustrating, right? So just noticing here what's going on. That's like so many cards. It's like the pace and the quality and the quantity. It's all kind of like gooped up. Sagittarius, what's going on, baby? And you are, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I didn't even like say that. Okay, let's get a clarifier for the Judgment. But I was going to say that like you are the King of Wands. That is just you like in your element, showing up in your own reading. Clarifier for the Judgment, please. If we don't get one here in a second, I will go ahead and pull a card. Clarifier for Judgment. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is reading way more accurately. Sometimes you just gotta ask for what you need. I need a card now. So Judgment in reverse, coming out of judgment from yourself, which makes a lot of sense with the Hanged One in reverse and the Ten of Cups in reverse, potentially feeling grief, potentially really processing a lot of grief, perhaps really like focusing on rebuilding your Ten of Cups, but having to address a couple of things that have come up. And sometimes when that happens, especially with the King of Swords in reverse, we can be so judgmental to ourselves. We can be our own worst critic. We can be the voice in our head that's really telling ourselves, we did it wrong, we were stupid, swords are mental acuity, mental clarity, our thoughts, our beliefs, but it's also the way that we communicate with others. And swords can cut through some bullshit, but they can also cut ourselves and cut other people. Like, is there a rupture that happened here? And were you hard on yourself? Were you harsh? The King of Swords in reverse speaks about someone who is overly pragmatic without tending to like the heart piece in communication. So like, no tact when it comes to brutal honesty. And this month is going to be a month of really tending to coming back into love with yourself, coming back into that self-appreciation and self-forgiveness and really forgiving yourself and coming back, like writing this, right? That means when we're in right and aligned action, we're speaking well, we're speaking clearly. We can set clear boundaries with other people without eviscerating them. We can say our no's without having to understand that someone else is cut by that. We're just in our heart, but we're also like speaking through our heart, our words and our boundaries and our beliefs in communication, which leads to like gorgeous new chances, gorgeous new worlds of wisdom from the experiences that we just came from. So this is easy this month, but it's going to be a process, Sagittarius. It's going to take conscious action and effort for you guys to come back into alignment with yourselves, which in my experience just takes a lot of self-love, a lot of self-understanding, and a lot of self-forgiveness. And then that bleeds over into our lives of love and self-forgiveness for other people, forgiveness of others, right? Okay, what's in the recent past and what are you moving toward? The Ace of Coins, so some new amazing opportunity. This can be a new job. This can be a new relationship even. With the Ace of Coins, it can talk about something that's like really ready to root, really ready to grow, very tangible. And like moving into the Ruler of Coins. This is like fast movement. This is fast evolution. From the Ace of Coins directly into the Ruler of Coins, we're going from the very, very start of something to mastery of it already, to accomplishing, knowing how it works and what it looks like, and it's like ultimate growth, it's ultimate maturity. So that's really fast. Oh, and this is making a lot of sense because when evolution moves that fast, it can be more painful to go through this process of letting go and of addressing change and about talking about it and all of those things, right? It's like when women are pregnant and they talk about the benefits of having a very short birth. It comes very quickly, like, labor took like 2 hours, or a very long birth, it took 2 days. Well, the long birth, while there's more pain over time, the body has time to adjust to everything that's happening and open slowly. But if a baby comes in 2 hours, my understanding, since I have not had babies myself, is that all of the changes have to happen so quickly. Mom's body has to adjust so quickly that they can often be more painful. And so that's just a little bit of what I'm feeling right now, is like there's some like hesitation, there's some pushback here, there's some like holding on to what's old, even though you are clearly in the throes of something new, and just needing to like course correct, just needing to do a couple of like really important energetic alignment things, going to the woods and getting lost for hours like I did today and sweating buckets and coming out feeling refreshed, right? Whatever it is to you. Okay, let's see what's important about this Ace of Coins here in the recent past that you just came from. Because usually, and if you've seen any of the other readings, like these cards can be pretty quick, this little clarifier deck. Ace of Coins for Sagittarius. Let's get one clarifier here. Ace of Coins. Two of Pentacles. I'm just going to do it, Sagittarius. I'm done like trying to stop the flow. Okay, so some kind of an emotional choice. There was some kind of like, I'm choosing this path and really facing the devil, facing your fears, facing what came up for you when you made that choice, and now juggling how you're handling it, right? So that often happens to us when we bump into new opportunities. Oh my God, I got this great new job. And then you're like, oh shit, okay, but what about all those other jobs? I really closed off all of those avenues. And oh shit, my commute really sucks now. And like, you know, you go from like it's like new and shiny and sparkly. And then like all of these things like, okay, shit, I have to balance like, you know, home life now and work life. And how is it all kind of actually working out in real life? And here we see the Two of Pentacles, and here's the Ace of Coins. So again, that evolution of stepping into this new project that you're seeing. So it just looks to me like something new has started for you guys, Sagittarius, in the recent past, and it's moving quickly. There's so much to say about it all here. Look at all these clarifiers. Clarifiers are meant to be like one card that helps me give a little bit more dimension and understanding, and you just cannot help yourself but like flesh out so much more of the story. So let's see. Ruler of Coins. What are you stepping into here? Where are you moving into the end of July or after July into the future here? Ruler of Coins. Mastery of your own domain. Three of Pentacles. And I love how it like popped up and kind of jumped. It was like, yeah, but like maybe not. I don't know. Okay, Ruler of Pentacles is just, you know, king of the freaking castle. There's monetary wealth. There's material stability in all ways. So this is you, or this is someone around you moving into the future, moving into this season of feeling incredibly abundant, very stable, very generous, but also not necessarily a person who likes to work with others. This is interesting that this is a pairing here, because it's like you might need help securing this, or you might help other people moving into a time where you are now apprenticing other people. Now that you are feeling really stable, you're helping other people kind of get to the same place with whatever this is that's going on for you. But I just loved how like the card kind of skipped, because it was like Three of Pentacles is so much about working in teamwork. It's about apprenticeship. It's about learning a new trade. It's about being supported by others in those trade and working together. When we see it in reverse, it can often mean, you know, that's not happening. It's time for you to maybe separate and work on your own, or within the context, is this really time that you need to not, you know, hang out with coworkers or whatever. So, it's interesting that it was like, well, I don't know. The Ruler of Coins is so self-sufficient. I think it will be really interesting, Sagittarius, to see what you guys step into in the future. Will you allow yourself to be supported? Okay, what is this feeling like to me? Learning how to be in absolute mastery of your own domain, of your own person, of your own home, of your own bank account, and also be in concert with others and in learning with others at the same time. And that's a delicate balance, because when we are at the top of our game, it's not always first nature to like reach out and be in collaboration. It just isn't all the time. So that's a really interesting dynamic coming up for you guys in the future. I recognize I just had so many words for this reading, so I'm gonna kind of just keep chugging away here. How do you feel about it? Like it's the end of the world. Sagittarius, you guys are feeling all kinds of way, I feel like, in this reading. It's like such good things are happening here, but it could be so much change. You're just feeling like your world is upside down, that a huge cycle has ended here for you, one that you fought really, really hard for, or maybe asked for, or maybe manifested, and you're just a little bit topsy-turvy about it, or saying like, no, please don't let my old go, or trying to figure out how to integrate like past and future and present here. There's a real sense of discombobulation, but kind of in the best like way, in the best, from the best way, like discombobulation because of so many amazing things that are happening. So many new amazing things that are happening. Yeah, you're like, no, I don't want a new start. I want my old start. That's totally what I am like hearing from the cards. So if this card really talks about like your attitude or what you're thinking when looking back on all this process, it's like you want to do your own work. You want to be in your old world. And you know what, Sagittarius, you know what it's so clear. There's so much like stickiness here. I'm going to say lean into it. I'm going to say sometimes you just need to sit down and cry about it and let it out and have the ear of a good friend or your mom or your teddy bear or whoever it is, and just let it out. Like have a really good bitch session, because that's what this is feeling like. It's not going to stay this way forever. You're clearly in the throes of something cool and like moving forward. It just needs this detox process. You just need to see it for what it is and then take the time for that self-care to mourn what you're moving on from. That seems really, really clear. Yeah, what's in the environment? The Three of Wands. So maybe closing of some opportunities or more opportunities opening up internally. So this could look like more avenues inside of you that are lighting up as you're moving forward into this. Let's go ahead and get a clarifier. But you know, it makes sense. It's like when we're overwhelmed with life, we're not usually in a place of like manifesting new opportunities. Knight of Swords, and we're just gonna take all the fucking cards because you just need them. I just feel it. You're like, no, I need all of the cards. So in your environment this month, who's around you? What's around you? What are you seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting? The Three of Wands could really be a closing off of new opportunities, feeling like, I want to say you're trapped. I don't know what's going on for you, Sagittarius, but I'm freaking fascinated. It's going to be time to be vulnerable and to not fight so much. Knight of Swords, when he's in reverse, can be a real messed up dude. Knight of Swords is the part of me that just wants to fight. It just thinks that I know everything and I'm going to swoop in. And when she's upside down, she's ready to do it even if it's not appropriate. And I hate the word appropriate, but like even if it's not going to get me what I want, even if it's not healing. And I can't really think of a situation where that can be healing. Of course, actually, okay, I just had a whole bunch of thoughts. I'm not going to go on so many tangents. But it's time for you to really be so conscious of what you're saying, what you're believing, and how you're communicating this month. This could look like setting boundaries, and maybe that's hard for you for new opportunities or things coming your way in your environment. You might have to set some boundaries, and if so, watch your communication. Be impeccable about the way that you talk to people. And be kind. Be vulnerable. Don't be hard. Don't be guarded. Right? It's a time to lean into your heart space. That really seems like the antidote for any of the frustration that's happening here. Lean into your heart. Purify, purify, purify. Lean into your heart and communicate from your heart. What are you hoping and wishing for? This is fascinating. So this is fascinating because it's like you're fighting this in all the rest of the reading, but marriage is on the board, commitment is on the board, that corporate job you said you'd never take but actually really want is on the board. Like the Hierophant is really the keys to your success, your stability, your happiness, and creating rules your own way. So let's see if there's anything else that would be really helpful for you to know about that. But that tells me, Sagittarius, you're fine. You are totally fine because you're hoping for this change. You just need to throw a pity party for yourself as a way to detox. Like let all of those frustrations out, right? Queen of Wands. I don't know how I flipped it, but upright or downright. You want this. You want it, and you're not feeling it. You're afraid of it, but you're also wanting it, but you're also afraid of it. And gotcha. So you want this stability, and you want this security, and you want this containment, and you want this real growth from a place of massive stability, and you don't want to lose your fire. Look at this, Queen of Wands and King of Wands now on the table, even though different decks. But still, it's like, do I have to give up my fire? Do I have to give up my independence? Do I have to give up who I am, my passion, my light, my solitude, my black cat? Do I have to give that up if I'm going into a relationship, or if I'm going into something that's like really stable, or if I'm taking this new job, will it have enough vacation time? So that's on your mind this month, Sagittarius. And just know that oftentimes stability can give us the best foundation from which to be our freest, right? It's like sometimes like, oh, well, I don't want to take that job. I don't want to be locked down. But then aren't you locked down because you don't have funding for your life? You have to find it somewhere. That's just one example. But I kind of love seeing this here for you, because it tells me that even though there's so much stick here, and there's like sadness, and there's like a lot of feeling of like irritation and inflammation that needs to be addressed and flushed in July, this is what you really want. This is what you're really looking forward to and hoping for and have manifested. So you're on the right path. It's just going to take a flush of the system. I don't know, like transmission flush. Someone told me I had to get that the other day, and I was like, but what is a transmission flush? I don't get it. But I feel like you need one, Sagittarius. So check your car, check your lights. Okay, and here we go. We're ending on the Eight of Swords, which is not a pleasant card. It's feeling tied up in your own thoughts and your own beliefs, and it's like you're feeling like a victim, and maybe you're feeling like there's just no way out. And you know what I say about this, Sagittarius? Good for you. Like maybe this month is just a month to feel victimized. In a way, is the fastest way to get you where you want to go. Right? So I don't say that lightly. Let's see if there is another card. Of course, there's like 7. No big deal. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. It is the King of Cups here. And it's not lost on me that we started with your central energy with a king right on top of it. And here we are, your last energy with the King of Cups right on top. So it's okay to feel terrified and to feel locked in your terror this month. That's not a very pleasant ending to your reading, but hear me out here. Sometimes if I can see a forecast and it's negative, or there's a lot of shit that's come up and it references things I'm already feeling, I feel safe in just feeling my feelings and not having to work so hard to change something that's just this season I'm in at the moment. And I'm hoping that that's how you're accepting or understanding this reading too. This just might be a month where you are addressing irritations and things that are holding you up in a manifestation process. But look, you've got it at the end of the month. So even this is like this is what I feel like your fastest way out is through. Your fastest way to resolution is by feeling the muck, feeling the victim, feeling your frustration, feeling your anger, feeling like it's never going to change, going into it, and you become the master of your emotions and the master of your heart, and you're able to show that to other people. It's really beautiful. I think this is the longest reading that I did for the month. So well done you if you've lasted through the entire reading. I really hope the month goes so well. Be very, very good to yourself this month, Sagittarius. Remember to look at yourself deeply and kindly, so kindly. Remember to actively unjudge yourself. Come back into your heart space. Communicate kindly. You're stepping into massive abundance, massive wealth. And just remember to detox this month. Detox all of the past belief systems, all of the old way that you're clearly not doing things anymore. You're stepping into massive success here. So I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to see the next chapter. Okay, thanks for watching.